Breaking right now on Denver 7 News at 5 a.m. Crews have been working overnight to contain a wildfire threatening homes in northern Colorado. We have team coverage this morning with a crew live on the scene. We're monitoring fire conditions as dozens of families are forced out of their homes.
It's going to be devastating because it's like losing your mom.
She's our queen. Always will be.
Thousands, millions around the world are remembering Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. So we are taking an in-depth look this morning at what's next for the monarchy as King Charles now takes over.
And Russell Wilson's highly anticipated return to his old turf in Seattle. What he says he'll be focusing on come Monday night.
It'll definitely be an experience I've never experienced before, but it'll also be an experience that I'm going to enjoy the journey of it all.
Yeah, he's got to prove some doubters wrong, too.
Yeah, they kind of
are
turned
saying
up
he's
a
on
little,
the back end of his career.
The slam talk is kind of heating up right now.
We're going to show them on Monday.
Right.
Thanks for joining us. Happy Friday to you. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. We're going to get to that fire coverage in a minute. Hopefully the cooler temperatures, maybe a little rain will help today. Lisa, a big change you can already feel outside this morning.
Yeah, it's nice. What a good change. And we will. We'll talk more about the fire conditions, but the winds had kicked up with this front rolling through. You're going to find wind speeds this morning at about 15 to 30 miles per hour, but look at how much cooler it is. Arvada 51, Boulder 54. We're at 53 in Firestone right now and 50 in Castle Rock. It's about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than what we saw yesterday at the same time. When you look at our exercise forecast for tomorrow, good weather to get outside. Today it's going to be a touch warmer than what we'll see tomorrow, but upper 60s here in Erie. Boulder 65, Denver's going to be in the upper 60s, near 70. So we are a lot cooler than what we saw yesterday, and there will be that chance for some rain. It's going to be pretty dry this morning. You'll see some sunshine early on, increasing clouds, and some rain developing tonight into early tomorrow morning. We'll take a look at how much rain we could see here within the next 48 hours coming up.
And right now we have a pretty good drive even as the front moves through here this morning. You might find some gusty winds that'll affect the drive a little bit, especially if you're driving anything with some size here this morning. But the one crash that's just being reported is along westbound I-70 right near Quebec Northfield, somewhere in here. Take a look from the only camera that's close is this one on westbound I-70 and eastbound. So this is the eastbound westbound here at 270. The crash, I think, would be behind us a little bit, so I'm not seeing anything right here at Quebec or anything a little bit farther to the west. So keep an eye on that, see if it turns into something. Right now is just overnight construction that was being picked up that was slowing us down there. But the rest of the drive looks just fine, including out to the west side where we had some overnight construction on I-70. South side of town, nice and quiet for right now.
As we take a live look this morning from Westminster Abbey, where 10 days from now, the world will remember Queen Elizabeth at her funeral. Right now, the United Kingdom is in a national period of mourning. The Queen is expected to be laid to rest at a private burial in St. George's Chapel on the grounds of Windsor Castle, where she spent most of her childhood, and she will be buried next to her husband, Prince Philip.
Their son, now King Charles III, will speak to the nation today. CNN's Riley Carlson is in London with how the world is reacting and what comes next.
On his first full day as king, Charles will return to London with the Queen Consort to begin his official royal duties. That is expected to include a meeting with the Prime Minister as condolences continue to pour in on the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth. People around the world are remembering Queen Elizabeth II following her passing at age 96.
The Queen was everything I've grown up with. She was iconic. I was born in the year of the coronation, so she's been the only queen I've ever known.
Having ruled for 70 years, she was the only British monarch for many, a constant in an ever-changing world.
She may have been in the background, but she was always there.
During her reign, she seemed an inspiration to many, from world leaders.
I had the opportunity to meet her before she passed, and she was an incredibly gracious and decent woman.
She was one of my favorite people in the world, and I will miss her so.
To international superstars.
Please join me in a round of applause for 70 years of service.
I'm sad. She gave me my knighthood. and was delightful.
Queen Elizabeth's influence stretched around the globe, and tributes are pouring in to honor her legacy.
God save our queen.
I don't think anyone realises how much she will be missed, because stability, tradition, is something that modern society are getting rid of, and they have no idea how dangerous that is.
People admire, even if they don't agree with the monarchy, they admire her as a human being. It's hard not to.
And King Charles has asked that a period of royal mourning be observed from today until 7 days after the Queen's funeral, the date of which is still to be announced. Reporting in London, I'm Riley Carlson.
Queen Elizabeth's death brings an end to one of the longest leadership tenures not only in British history but in world history. And she lived through really most of our lives. Most people alive today have only known her as Queen. She was alive when the first commercial jet went into service. She was ascended to the throne that year in 1952. In 1969, of course, she observed the Apollo 11 moon landing. She saw the end of the Vietnam War and the fall of the Berlin Wall. She was there through the tenures of 15 prime ministers in Britain.
Yeah. And met 13 of the last 14 U.S. presidents. On the news of the Queen's passing, the royal website shut down temporarily. It displayed a picture of the Queen and said she had died peacefully at Balmoral Castle in Scotland. In small print, it said the official website of the royal family is temporarily unavailable while appropriate changes are made. And by the time the people of the Commonwealth woke up this morning, the website had articles about the Queen's passing, the new king, King Charles, and a way to send a message of condolence. It said a selection of messages would be shared with members of the royal family. You can send your message on the website royal.uk. So we'll be following the ceremonies overseas for Queen Elizabeth on our website, denver7.com. Well, turning our attention to the Broncos, we are 3 days away now from Russell Wilson's highly anticipated debut in the orange and blue.
Yeah, of course, that'll happen in Seattle, where he will play his old team, the Seahawks, Monday night. And the headlines haven't been so kind to Russell lately. Some sources in Seattle calling him a declining quarterback. Sounds like sour grapes. Our Broncos insider Troy Rank asked him how he's feeling about returning to his old stadium.
My experience in Seattle was one of a kind. 10 years, I couldn't imagine those years not being in my life, and how special they were, and how many games we won, and how many amazing thrillers, and just Super Bowl we won and everything else. So I'm going to think about all those memories and everything else, and the joy of that and the gratitude of that. And then also we've got a football game to play, so I'm excited to just get out there and play again.
And history suggests he'll do well Monday night. He has the best winning percentage of any quarterback in prime time with at least 20 starts. He has also been undefeated in his last 3 openers with 10 touchdowns and no interceptions. And of course, you can watch the Broncos take on the Seahawks right here on Denver 7 Monday night. Our pregame coverage starts at 5. Kickoff is at 6:15, and our postgame show will follow. Lisa.
And I'll have a look at that forecast, what we're expecting both here at home on Monday and there in Seattle coming up. Here's a look at your bus stop forecast, though, for today. What a change for the kids. It's going to be a lot cooler, mid to upper 50s as your kids are heading to school. It'll be a lot more comfortable in some of those DPS classrooms today. We'll be in the mid to upper 60s by the time they get home with a few showers. Even cooler tomorrow. Look at your full weekend forecast coming up.
And that first wreck I told you about just a little bit ago here on the eastbound side of I-70 right after Quebec. I just saw some Denver fire trucks that were just wandering on Quebec trying to get to the highway. They say it's eastbound with some people that were trapped in the wreckage, so we could have some lanes blocked. Right now I'm not seeing extensive delays, but you will see a wreck if you're just about to head out eastbound I-70 between Quebec and Havana.
Could this be the future of a morning commute? The major investment being made into flying electric taxis.
And what cereal without milk? Certainly you wouldn't mix another liquid with it, right? Well, maybe not.